We're actually number 2 in the entire nation.
Today's moonshooter is Denise Luera from Colonial Life. In this episode, we dive into supplemental health insurance, what it is, why it matters, and how it can make a real difference when life takes an unexpected turn.
We help make sure that you're focused on healing and not focused on paying your rent.
If you're a business owner or an employee, stick around as Denise shares how these plans can protect your income, bring peace of mind, and show real care for the people around you.
We have plans. And so you sit down, we educate you on each plan. You do not have to sign up for all plans. You can pick and choose what plans you feel are custom to you and what you need at the time.
Denise is also the sponsor of today's episode, so big thank you to Denise and the team at Colonial Life for their support. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with someone who might find it interesting. And now, dear friends, here's Denise Luera. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Good to have you here. We know each other from BNI, so could you just tell the people who are you, what you do? And
who am I? That's a loaded question.
Exactly.
I am Denise Luera. I am your insurance agent that helps you financially.
Okay.
Is the best way to think of it. If you get in the things that you don't want to happen, that's when we make sure that you're protected during those hard times.
Beautiful. So if you would say, who is the best person to listen to us talking about supplemental and employee benefit, who would you think that this person should be?
It would be business owners. It would be HR representatives, medical brokers, because we complement their plans. Those are my 3 targeted, audits. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The best people that will benefit from this conversation.
Yes.
And what do their biggest pain is right now?
It's ultimately healthcare, and the difference between us, healthcare as a whole, right? Because you have to have it. You really can't survive without it, but it's really expensive. And what we do is we help, with those costs. So instead of think of it as, instead of paying the hospitals or the doctors, we pay you directly.
Let's say I'm a business owner, okay, and I have, let's say, 10 employees.
Okay.
I'm obviously juggling a ton of other things, like everything. Like I have to provide health insurance, there's workers' comp. How do supplemental insurance fit within that mix of things that I have to worry about as a business owner?
So that's a great question, Naja. The best thing for a small business, especially, is that they're not at a point where they have to offer benefits, medical benefits per se. They can, but they don't have to. It's not regulated. And so what we do is we offer them a solution so that they can offer their employees some type of benefits. And the great thing about us is that it doesn't cost the business anything. It doesn't cost them anything. Though I want to say there's no direct cost, because there is a little tiny administration.
Like setup fee or something?
No, there's no setup fee. But that is payroll deducted. And so at one time they have to use the system and they have to do the deductions. That's really it. So administratively, there's a little bit of a labor cost for them, but there's no cost outside of that. No direct cost.
So usually your clients either don't have health insurance for their employees, or they have and they want to add more benefits to the employees.
Yes.
What would that help them with?
So it helps. So we have plans that really help if they have high deductibles. Then if something does happen to them and they get hospitalized, then we help them pay that deductible. If they do, again, your thought process is that if you get hurt, you're covered. You can have the hospital bill taken care of. But what if you can't work? What if you're off the job? That's where we come in and we help make sure that you're focused on healing and not focused on paying your rent.
So when I hear people talking about supplemental insurance, what are we talking about exactly? We're talking about an insurance policy that the business owner does not have to pay anything for.
Correct.
They provide it to the employees. The employees has to contribute to it, right?
Yes.
And what it does is that when I get sick or I get in any injury, I can, yes, the hospital is going to be covered by the regular health insurance, but now the supplemental health insurance will pay me directly.
Yes, and you can use the money as you like. You can use it to pay any medical bills that you may have. You may use it to pay rent. You can use it to get a new car. Whatever you want to use it on, we don't care.
You don't track where this money is going.
No.
Wow.
No, yeah. So it's really helpful. There's a lot of times where, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but there's a lot of times where people have come to me and said, my wife has gotten diagnosed with cancer and we didn't know how we were going to pay our rent. And we got, money from Colonial that was $20,000. And it was like, oh my gosh, we could really focus on her, getting better, right? And not have to worry about the bills. So it really does help.
That's amazing. But who determined how much they pay us?
So that's a great question. So basically we have plans. And so you sit down, we educate you on each plan. You do not have to sign up for all plans. You can pick and choose what plans you feel are custom to you and what you need at the time. And then we have levels. So like a cancer plan, we have level 1, level 2, level 3, and then you pick how much you want to get paid if something happens to you. Same with our accident plan. All of our plans are designed to help you with and make it affordable to your budget.
Right. So you're talking now to me as an employee. If I'm an employee, I can sit down with you, basically, and you can customize my plan according to my needs. If, let's say, does it cover only the employee themselves or their dependents as well?
It also can cover the employee, and it also can cover the spouse and the children.
Okay.
And so what the great thing too about our accident plan is that it doesn't matter if you have 1 kid or if you have 10 kids, the accident plan, if you get that to cover yourself and the children, then all of them are covered.
What about if I was healthy, but then I got into an ongoing, like maybe... what do you call them? Like long-term health condition. Does that mean that I get paid from Colonial every month?
We do have a short-term disability option as well as a long-term disability option is what you're, talking about. So if you're taking off work for 6 months, then yes, we would pay you each month what the state would not pay you.
Let's say chronic health conditions, cancer, other things.
Yes, so we do have a critical illness plan, cancer. So those they would pay you out if something happened to you. Yes.
I want to switch back the conversation to business owners. And this is something that we at the Moonshooters podcast highlight, and we try to help business owners with their business. And we bring experts like yourself to educate business owners on all the beautiful things that you guys do, right?
Yes.
So for the business owner, besides that, this is something nice to have for their employees. What are other benefits that they will benefit from to provide something like that to their employees?
So the benefits that the business owners that are my clients have told me that it's helped them for multiple reasons. It's helped them with retention because they're showing their employees that they care. It also helps them get better top talent, especially at the small business, because they're able to say that they're offering some type of benefits. There's tax advantages because some of our products are pre-tax. So they're also saving on the bottom line, which is great because it's not costing them anything.
Yep.
And they're still saving money. And then the other thing that a lot of family-owned small businesses come across is when things happen and emergencies happen, with the employees kind of get stuck in a corner and they come and they ask them for loans. And so what Colonial Life has created is that if something happens, they say you have this plan and it's going to help pay for that so that they're not coming, because the business owners take that chance with giving the employee a loan and then them not returning.
That is such a good point, because that's true. A lot of employees actually, especially with small businesses, because it's very friendly atmosphere.
Yes.
They get in trouble. They needed money. So where they go? They go to the business owner.
They go to the business
owner. And poor
owner.
business owner, they're trying to pay their bills and running their business. And now they have to deal with another employee request.
Yes.
That is hard to say no, especially in these tough situations.
Yes. And that's what they've said. They said, Denise, even if we've given them that option. So I know, and our plans are so affordable that it's not like we're saying, okay, here, give Colonial all your money in case something happens. It's not like they're breaking a bank. It literally, some of our plans are $2, a week. And so it's like, can you afford, do you want to have that Starbucks this week? Or do you want to make sure you're protected? How are you able to protect your phone, but not yourself, right? When these plans are so affordable. And so even if they don't opt in to use the plans, if something does happen, then the business owner can say, well, we did offer you this for this reason, so they don't feel so bad either.
So when the business owner offers that to the employee has the choice whether to take it or not.
They do.
So you still have to convince the employee. So how do you do that?
So basically it's education. So it could be myself, like we talked about, or I have a team, I have team on that are bilingual. So if Spanish is your preferred language, we definitely want to make sure that you get educated in that capacity. So I have a team at Colonial that comes in and sits down and really goes over each plan to make sure that the employee knows what they're getting. And right when they sit down, they tell them what it would cost them each paycheck.
Right. And you said the plans start at $2. I mean, that's really, really low.
Yes.
But what is $2 probably is the very basic one. But how did it go up?
I mean, it ranges from, I think it's about $80 a month is about the average for if you wanted like everything. That is pretty much our average. What per person is about $80 a month. And then you have to remember that a lot of our plans are pre-taxed. So that's $80 post-tax. I mean, that's before the pre. So, I mean, you're talking about maybe $15 a week to get the plans to help make sure that you're covered.
And a lot of business owners will be listening to us right now and they say, oh, what about me? The business owner themselves.
Right,
do they
exactly.
benefit from that?
Absolutely. And that's why we make sure to that point, that's why we make sure that we have levels of plans, because you have, in your staff, you have people that are at the bottom all the way up to business owners that may want to get a little bit more of an expensive, wealthier plan.
And what is the minimum size of a company that are eligible to get that kind of coverage?
So we need to have 3 employees. And the other thing that's different than Colonial than other carriers is that we need 3 employees to even offer, but only one person needs to enroll. Okay. So the participation, so other companies can offer the same, but they need participation. So they need to have 3 employees there and 3 employees enroll, which I feel like that almost makes them feel like they're pressuring because they need that sell, because they need to have those 3, where that's why I picked Colonial, because I was like, not only are we offering great products, but I don't like to put people in the hot seat and make them feel like they have to get it. I want them to need to get it or want to get it, right?
And that's a great legway to Colonial.
Yes.
What sets Colonial apart?
We've been in business we're a huge company. We're actually number 2 in the entire nation. We've been around for over 85 years. It was actually 2 housewives that started it, which I love. They were going around. They would go door to door to make sure that the other families were protected. And we're stateside, so we're based out of South Carolina. And it was just the culture. Walking into this, it's really, people say this, but I truly love the fact that we're such a huge, big company, and I feel like I'm a part of a family, and that was really important to me when I really evaluated my next career. I wanted to make sure it was something that I could do independently, but also, with the company that I felt that was a great company, and Colonial has definitely not disappointed.
And in terms of the value for the business owner choosing Colonial versus the competitors, is there any tangible benefits that I, as a business owner, would rather work with Colonial and not the others? Yes.
So Colonial primarily has their retention rate for our representatives are high, right? So that is a big thing because we are independent agents. And so a lot of the other carriers, they have a high turnover, right? So they get somebody, they sell it, and then they can't reach their agent. Because they don't know who their agent is. Where we, my partner has been with Colonial for 30 years. So it's secure that she's going to kill me. It's not 30 years, but it's almost 30 years. So it's like I have this team that if something were to happen to me or I would decide to leave, I have some, and that was the other thing that was really important to me was that I wanted to make sure that I left my clients in good hands if something, were to happen. And I feel very confident about that. And that is something that my clients have told me that they love about me specifically in Colonial is that they can get a hold of me. Mm-hmm. I'm a phone call away and I answer my phone.
Yeah,
right?
And then they don't have to push enrollment. So only one person in the company can enroll. That's a great benefit. Mm-hmm. Is there any other things in terms of like the time to pay, stuff like that?
We definitely are adaptable. I mean, we make sure that we set up our companies well. We give them the deductions. It's a very easy process. And then we have a client portal. Mm-hmm. They can use it from their phone. They can log in from their phone. They can adjust. If somebody leaves the company, they can just go right there. It's really a click of a button. Mm-hmm. They can pay the bill. They can do all the things. I mean, technology, as you know, has come so far.
Right.
And it's just we try to make it as easy as possible for the...
That's a great idea. So let's say I'm employed with Company X and I left the Company X, went to Company Y. Company X offered Colonial, Company Y does not. What happens now?
It's a great question, Naja.
I'm coming up with this on the spot.
I love it. So our plans are portal.
Okay.
Yes. So if you were to leave the company, you can take the plans with you.
You can.
So
you will continue being enrolled, even if your company is not providing.
Or say you go to this company, because some people really love Colonial, and they love that. And also, a lot of our plans are based off of age. So if you get locked in at a young age, you want to keep that rate. You don't want to go to another company and then even if they are offering supplemental, you don't want to necessarily, get their plans because maybe you don't want to get those companies' plans, or maybe they're more expensive because of the, age or whatever the case may be. You get that option of keeping the plans.
So let's say I got a rate of $30 a month, for example, and then 5 years down the line, you lock the rate at the rate of $30 5 years ago.
Yep. Yeah.
So this rate is not going to change.
So it's not going to change for most plans. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's a huge benefit because inflation and everything is like.
Yes. And that's the other thing that is crazy is that our rates really do not change.
Right.
Yeah. And so other companies, they do advertising, right? You'll see commercials for them.
Sure.
And we love the commercials.
Yeah.
They're great. We love them.
Yeah.
But we definitely make sure that our advertisement is us because that's how we keep our costs down.
I used to work in the advertising industry, so I know these commercials, they are funny, but they're so expensive to make.
Yeah, they're very expensive to make.
Very expensive, yeah.
Yes, so we do not do that. We go off of we really go off of our reputation. And like I said, we're second in the nation.
Yeah.
And we don't advertise. Like, that's crazy to me.
Given how passionate you are about this, I mean, look at you. Like, I can see your eyes are sparking when you're talking about Colonial. How did you get into this business?
So I love this question. So my prior life, I was in leadership for, 30 years. No, 25 years. Let's not age me, okay? For like 25 years.
Oh, you just turned 23, right?
Yeah, I just turned 23, so I was 2 when I started. Yeah. So, and I knew, and I took a business, from employees of like 40, and I grew it all the way up. So I understood all the pain points, and I worked closely with HR. That was my, my I can't think of the word right now, but my right-hand man.
Yeah.
You're right. So I knew about all the benefits about keeping and retention and all of that. And I was very involved in the benefits, right, side of that piece. And so I really knew the benefits that it had to the business as far as employees, and I believe in the products.
Yes, you have to.
I believe in the products. I've seen so many times where people don't have it, and I'm like, oh, it makes me sad. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I can speak from that. When I worked, at my old company, where they were like, I don't need it this year because I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm this, I'm that. And then something, happens to them. And I'm like, did you get the X? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, I'm not even going to tell you. And that's not even me being Colonial, agent today, right?
Yeah.
So knowing all of that, when I was looking at my next career, I wanted to do something that mattered.
So you were employed in a leadership position in a company?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the comfort of having a job,
Yes.
the salary, you don't have to hustle for your money.
Well, you had to hustle, but it was a different way.
It's a different way,
Yes.
but there's some sort of security in a job.
Yes.
What made you take the leap to just, I'm going to work on my own now?
Yes, no, that's great. So I decided that I worked a lot of years, and I made another company, which I still love, a lot of money, right? And I was the VP over the entire. I was national, right? So I had operations in New York all the way, here. So I was up at 5 a.m, working till 7 o'clock at night, making sure everything was okay. And so walking away from that, because like you said, the money was really good, but so walking away from that, I really knew that I wanted to do something where I worked hard and I made myself money, right? And did something entrepreneur-ish. So it was either I was going to open up my own business or I was going to be independent. And when I was going back and forth, I met this wonderful lady, Lori, who I talked about, who's my partner, and she's been with Colonial for almost 30 years. And so I already knew about the industry, and then talking to her and her stories and the claims that she's seen and the people that she's helped throughout the years just sold me, and I do have a trend of, I was with my last company for over, 25 years. I've been with my husband for almost 26 years. So I do have this trend of staying. If I'm with something, I stay with it. So I think I'm a lifer.
You mentioned earlier that you believe in the product.
I do.
And I noticed that for us business owners, when we are, or even independent, we're trying to basically, we sit with the potential client and we want to help them see the value in what we have to offer. And they can sense any subtle hesitation. So if people out there who don't feel that they believe wholeheartedly in what they're selling, it's not going to work.
Yes.
So the belief in the product, how important do you think that is?
Oh, I think it's a must, right? Because you may look at this as a sales, position. I look at it as more of consultative, because I do believe, that everybody should at least have something, and you don't want to think about it. That's the hardest. That is probably the hardest part about Supplemental, is that who wants to think about getting in a car accident? Yes. Who wants to think about, getting cancer? Who wants to think that? So it's a very touchy subject, especially if you're healthy, because most of us are, and you just never know what's going to happen.
That's true. When I started my company, Paris Lab, my experience has been in social media, digital marketing, and then originally I was in a traditional advertising agency. But because I literally see these social media managers, they will put designs on Canva and everything. Canva is great and these posts are great, but they don't have a soul. So when I started doing the podcasting world, I felt that I am in a job that is telling someone's story. It's very human. It's very purposeful. It's very meaningful to me. And so that made me believe in it. And that's why now every day I don't mind working my butt off, right?
That's right.
Because I believe in what I'm trying to do. And so I totally second you here on the belief component. You're the president of our BNI chapter.
I am.
Mrs. President.
Yes, 2 weeks in. Woo-woo. Super excited about this year.
You're doing amazing. And in your 60-second, now 45, you talk about a lot of examples of people who signed up who got enrolled and something happened, and how this insurance policy literally was a lifesaver. Can you talk more about these examples?
There's a couple. There's so many. There's a couple. One where I was at a networking event, and the guy sitting next to me, he found out I was with Colonial, and he said, "Oh my gosh," he said, "Denise, I have to tell you." He goes, "I've had Colonial now for 15 years." He goes, "I bought this cancer policy. my wife was like, oh my gosh, you put something in front of you and you're going to just buy it, and she was like yelling at me. He goes, fast forward. She got diagnosed with cancer. And your first thought is like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh. He said, no. She's in remission. She's doing good. But she has to take a pill for the rest of her life. And the pill costs $200. And he said, Colonial pays me $300. And I said, oh my gosh, really? And he said, yes, really. And he goes, I almost feel like I'm cheating the system. And I said, nope, that's your policy. That's what you're paying for. So it's stories like that that help. So many times people have called me. My wife got in a car accident. And the other thing that's great, about Colonial is that, like I told you, the portal's very easy. So it's easy to file the claim. And they get paid on average 4 days. Like, that's unheard of. So a lot of the feedback that I've gotten is like, oh my gosh, Denise, like I thought it would have taken a couple weeks, and they literally, some in a day.
It's faster than Amazon.
It's faster than Amazon sometimes. It is. The other really great thing about Colonial is that we have a lot of preventative wellness plans. So if you're going and you're doing your annual checkups and you're doing those things, then you get paid by us. You can get paid up to $200 to do that. So some people take advantage of that and they wait until like November or December to file their wellness claim so that they have a little bit of extra money to for Christmas. Because again, we don't care how you spend it. We just want to make sure that you're protected and that you're doing the things that you need to do to help stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's money doesn't buy happiness, but it makes
it helps
sickness much more easy to swallow.
Yes.
Right?
Well, and that's the point, right? I think that is the key, Naja, is that you want to, when you get diagnosed with something, when you get sick, when you get in an accident, you want to really worry about healing. You want to hurry, you want to worry. You don't want to be worrying about, oh my gosh, I have to get back to work because I have to pay this bill. I have to do this because I have to, and you're not ready. And then maybe you hurt yourself even worse, right? So that just takes one less burden off of them.
Yeah.
And I always joke, and it's not funny, but I always say, if you do get in an accident or you do fall down, because every single bone in your body is insured, so I always say, make sure you go big so you get a bigger check, but it's horrible. I always laugh. Or I'll say, if my husband makes me mad, I'll push him down the stairs so I can get a big check. But
so
all
you
that
do have
is a joke.
jokes around.
I do have some. Yeah, it is Fantastic Thursday. So, but no, in all seriousness, it's really just to make sure that, that you're not thinking about that as well.
I mean, stress is the biggest killer. So maybe some employees will try to save money on this one, but they don't know that if something happens and you're stressed out, stress is scientifically proven to be the worst disease you can ever have.
It's
so
true.
If Colonial could help ease that stress a little bit, you make your money back basically.
A lot of too, like some businesses, especially when you get to a point where you have to start offering medical, they have. Or just some businesses want to make sure, because the whole healthcare has changed. When I started to get healthcare, it was really, you had a deductible. That was it. You went to the doctor, you had a $10 copay, or not a deductible, a copay. You'd go in, you'd pay your $10 and you'd be good. And then that changed in the early 2000s. And so it got really competitive to where now it's you get a deductible. And so you have certain things that are covered until they're not. If you get hospitalized, then you have to pay, it could be $2,000, it could be $3,000, it could be $5,000. And we're just in a society today where you just don't have that laying around, right? So business owners looking at the plans that they have to offer to their employees, some of them feel like, oh man, I know that they can't afford a $3,000, deductible, or I know that they can't afford a $5,000 deductible. So what we have is a hospital confinement. And so what some of the business owners do, because it's so inexpensive, is they pay for that for the employee to complement the medical plan, right? And it's also pre-tax, so there's advantages there. But it helps them also feel like they're able to offer a more wealthier plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that it's not just here's medical, and then if something happens to you, you have to pay for this deductible. It's like, no, here's medical, and then we're also covering this. So if something does happen, then you can, we're covering your deductible as well.
And also you mentioned like how attractive you as a business owner or as a business become in the job market when you're offering employee benefits. And again, people are your biggest asset.
Right.
So if you are able to have a legway or advantage when people are evaluating 2 job offers and they see that, definitely that's going to swing them to work with that business or the other.
That's right.
And in a competitive job market that we have right now, it's a game changer. So how do you keep yourself knowledgeable about what the Colonial is doing and what you're selling or you're consulting with?
So it's, so obviously we do a lot of training, at Colonial. They have a lot of education for us as well. And then just doing it, when you're in front of businesses and their employees all the time, just experience and things happen. So then you're like, okay, well, this is happening. So let me find out what I can do for you. And just after years of experience, you just get better. Right. And you can pick up right away if what you need to do to help the employees and the business owners.
So the last question for you, and I kept you a long time, but the last question for you is that if someone is listening to this on kind of like what Diana felt, like they're excited, they want to get started, whether they are a business owner or they are an employee who want to recommend your services to a business owners. Yes. Walk me through the process and how they can contact you.
Great. So all they need to do, I'm a phone call, or an email away. They just need to call. Again, the process is extremely easy. We get them in the system. They have to go and sign one paper, it's all electronic. We send them an email. They go through it. I can help them do that. Then they do that, and then we set everything up. We go out, we do the education, we do the setup. All they have to do is make sure that the employees are available for us to sit with them, especially if if they're hearing this and they are interested, then they should go to their HR representative. They should go to the business owner, because I think that probably is the biggest objective, is they say, I don't think my employees would be interested. And for me, I'm like, I don't understand. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's not costing you anything. Even if your employees aren't interested, at least you offered it to them. They sign a waiver saying that it was offered to them, and then you're protected because you know that you offered this to them.
Yeah.
So if the employees are hearing this and they are interested, then they should go talk to their HR representative or the business owner, because it's literally, we take all the work for the most part. Like I said, there's one time when we do the deductibles that they have to input that into their payroll system, but after that, it's all done.
And now this is the official last question.
I love it.
Because it's inspired by the Moonshooters podcast. So in the Moonshooters podcast, we interview people who are shooting for the moon.
Okay.
This is a change that you want to see in the world. So what is your moonshot?
Oh, that's a great question.
It's very poetic.
It is very poetic. I mean, obviously, my hope is always that you never need this. I never, ever sign somebody up or have somebody sign somebody up so that I'm like, you need to have this. I hope you ever have to use my plan. But it's almost like that Murphy's Law, where I think that's I always make up my own things. But it's like where
Denise theory.
Yeah, we call it what, the Denise dictionary, where I feel like if you have it, sometimes it prevents you from getting hurt. It's always the cases where they don't have it. And that really is just to make sure everybody, I mean, if that was my dream, I would make sure that everybody was protected and never had to use our plans service. Because I don't want to ever see anybody get hurt or, get diagnosed with something. But, if they do, I want everybody to make sure that they have our plans.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking time.
Yes. Well, that was so fun. Thank you.